My name is Christopher Bias. You are listening to the Power Your Story podcast, Season 1. These are our actual stories made by us.
My name is Alfred Barry, and today you will hear an interview with Christopher, and I did Chicago-based hip-hop artist and rapper SamIAm the MC. We hope you learned something new by listening. Enjoy the show.
Good morning, SamIAm.
Good morning, Christopher. How's it going?
Good. How are you this morning?
I'm feeling pretty good. I felt like today's a great day for an interview, and this happened, so I feel like I'm pretty lucky.
Good, me too. My first question is for you. Can you tell us your name, please, and what you do?
Okay. All right. So my name is Sam Simmons II, and my rap name is SamIAm the MC. I'm a rapper, an MC, master of ceremonies. I'm also a freestyle rapper, which is basically improvisational rapping off the top of the head. I'm a battle rapper. I do freestyle and written battles nationally and locally. And I'm also a Chicago hip-hop event promoter and a breakdancer as well. So I'm pretty much fully immersed in the whole hip-hop culture, pretty much, yeah.
That was pretty impressive. Thank you.
Thank you.
When did you get into your type of music, Sam?
I would say I was around 5 years old, and that was around the first time I really heard hip hop for the first time, along with my sister and my father at the time. He was working, but he was also a DJ, so he had music equipment and everything, and so he would allow us to play with some of his records. And in kindergarten, I was in like a little talent show, and I did a rap about bubblegum. And so when everybody heard the rap about bubblegum, I told my mom about it. She was like, "Hey, that was pretty good." And she got me a notebook, and I filled it up with raps, and that was really the beginning of me rapping. So I think that was probably in about 87, I would say. And then in 92, my dad, he allowed me to start recording some of the raps that I had made over some of the records that he had out of this vast collection. And then that's actually the year that I started to freestyle as well. I started freestyling because when I would have my verses, every time I would mess up, I had to re-record my song from the beginning. So I had to find a way to just stop doing multiple takes. So I realized at certain points, like when I would mess up, I would substitute the line with something off the top of my head. And then when I would play the song back, I'm like, hey, I didn't have to do a multiple take, but hey, that line was fresh. So it actually started off as a way of me stopping to do multiple takes. And then when I realized that freestyling was a complete art form, I was able to take it from there.
Thank you for that. Why did you choose this in the first place, your rapping career?
I think out of all the different types of music that I've heard in my life, I think that hip-hop was something that really gravitated towards my soul the most. And I think it was pretty much kind of like my calling to do it. I think I've always just naturally been engulfed in the entire hip-hop elements. It's something I put my heart and soul into. I've dedicated my entire life to all the elements of hip-hop, all 5 of them, which are rapping, breakdancing, DJing, graffiti, and knowledge of the elements. And at the same time, I finished college. I graduated from Northern Illinois University with a degree in media communications. I still work full-time, and I balance out my time working, being a father, making music, doing shows, rap battles, and trying to keep the culture going as much as I can. But I think that's what it's all about, just knowing what your passion is and then also balancing it out with reality, So.
Thank you. The same thing goes for me.
Awesome, nice.
What are some of your records, and what is your favorite one to make?
My first studio album was called Refreshing. I made that back in 2003. I was still in college. That was really cool because I felt like that was the first time I was going outside of it was pretty much a graduation from making songs in my dad's basement to actually going to a studio to make music. So, and I called the album Refreshing because I felt like it was a refreshing taste of hip-hop music, and I felt like it was really needed at the time. My second studio album was called The Taste, and I named that after the taste of Chicago. So, how you go to the Taste of Chicago, and there's all of these, different tints or all different types of food from all over. So that's what I tried to do musically and lyrically with the album. So basically it wasn't just one style of rhyme. No 2 songs sounded the same. So it was a taste of Chicago hip hop. And I think that album was pretty much one of my breakthroughs because I had not only music videos for that, but I had a song called Up Rock, which was featured in a video game called Pump It Up. So that was, that was kind of like a nice little breakthrough for me with that album. 2012, I had another album called I Want to MC for You. And then following that, in 2013, I dropped the album by the name of Golden Era 2, which you all can actually purchase on Bandcamp for only $5. It's a great album, and I call it Golden Era because Golden Era is the era in which I was influenced by. So if you're wondering what the Golden Era of hip-hop is, that's basically all of the progressive hip-hop that came out from the years of 1986 to 1996. So between that 10-year span is basically all the meats and bones of what we call modern day rap, from Rakim to Cool G Rap to Big Daddy Kane. I mean, all of the lyricists that set the standards pretty much, and most of the classic albums that came out in hip hop happened within that time span. And I'm a byproduct of that. So now that golden era is over, I'm trying to bring it back. And so that's why I called it Golden Era Part 2. That's why I'm hoping to spark the next golden era. So I think that's definitely one of my favorite projects. And my current project that's out right now is called Subterranean MC Mixtape. And the cool thing about Subterranean MC Mixtape is Subterranean is actually a venue in Wicker Park. And every Tuesday for the past 19 years, they've had open mic freestyle rap for the Chicago hip-hop community. So I've been a big part of that. So it also represents being underground. So that's why I call it Subterranean MC. So it's kind of a play on words because I frequent the subterranean venue for the open mics, but I'm also underground. So I am a subterranean MC or master of ceremonies. So that's pretty much a brief view of my discography. Yep.
Thank you for that. Where can we find your music, Sam?
Oh, sure. You can find my music on YouTube. You can type up Best of SamIAm. You'll be able to see some of my national rap battles. If you go on YouTube and type SamIAm Freestyle or SamIAm Battle Rap, you'll be able to find a plethora of music there. Also, too, I'm also telling you about Golden Era 2. You can find it on Bandcamp. So if you go to Google and type SamIAm the MC Bandcamp, it'll pop right up. And then also my current mixtape, Subterranean MC, is on SoundCloud. So you could either go to SoundCloud and type SamIAm the MC, or you could go to Google and type SamIAm the MC SoundCloud. And then you can also follow me on my Twitter page as well, which is SamIAm the MC. And I constantly post my music on there as well.
Thank you for that. Where have you performed, Sam?
So I've performed all over Chicago, all over the Midwest. 106 and Park, that's one of the former National Freestyle Rap Championships that was on BET, and I won that several times and became retired from that show. And so that show was actually in New York. So I had to fly into New York every week for about 7-8 weeks to make that possible. I was also on MTV for the $1 million World Rap Freestyle Championships. So I made it to the top 2 before that show ultimately ended up being canceled. But the filming for those episodes took place in Las Vegas and California. I performed in Texas as well. But I love to perform outside of the country, though. That's my next goal.
Congratulations. One more from me, Sam.
Okay.
Who are your favorite artists, Sam?
Okay, so some of my favorite artists are Hieroglyphics, Redman, Black Moon, Micah 9 of Freestyle Fellowship, The Roots, Black Thought, Farside, pretty much all the rappers from the late 80s, early mid-90s era. Wu-Tang Clan, Digging in the Crates, LL Cool J, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, So, I was inspired by pretty much a lot of the lyricists of the hip-hop's Mount Rushmore.
Okay, thank you. Now I am going to flip you over to Alfred. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
All right, Sam, how you doing? My name is Alfred Barry.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, though. SamIAm, so have you ever met anyone famous?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, not only have I met a lot of famous celebrities, I've actually had the honor of opening for several famous celebrities, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Twista, Kool Keith, Redman, De La Soul. There's definitely been several people, so, but those are like some of my favorites I can think of off the top of my head, yeah.
And so, is it hard to become famous?
Well, I wouldn't consider myself famous, but I would say, is it hard to make it? Definitely. But here's the thing, my opinion is the level of your fame or your success, you don't want to base it on somebody else's level of fame and success. So, I would say, hey, like, am I famous to maybe a certain community? Probably. Am I famous compared to somebody like, I don't know, Lady Gaga? I would say no. But in my eyes, if you're making an impact on the community and you're setting goals for yourself and you're checking them off, that should make you happy, So I try not to compare myself to anybody, but just try to accomplish certain things and then just check it off. Because if you always compare yourself to certain other people, you may or may not ever get there, and it might, it might make you upset or mad or whatever. Or, or you can do the opposite. You can look at somebody at a certain level and say, hey, you know what? This is what I aspire to be. This is the level that I'm trying to get to. So, however you can train yourself to do that, that's great. And, and with being famous or I would say popular, is definitely hard getting to that point. But once you get there, your responsibility and visibility becomes much greater. Yeah.
What challenges have you had to overcome to get where you are today?
Just in general, paying a lot of dues, countless hours of writing raps. Hundreds of notebooks, recording countless raps from the basement and graduating to making songs in the studio, to pressing albums and getting in rap battles and winning some and losing some and traveling, losing money. You have to just sacrifice. And also, too, you have to balance your life. A lot of people don't know, before I won the Round Splitters 4 All City Chicago Championship, and before I did BET or MTV or anything, I was already putting in thousands of hours into free open mics and free shows and rap battles and everything. So everything is a constant progression, and that's what's really most important. If you can just kind of just keep going and never give up and just always know that, hey, you know what, this is a level that I can make it to and I can get there, you're going to get there. But any setbacks, you don't want that to hinder you from doing anything. Like, I realized at a certain point that a setback would be, oh, wow, well, I don't have a record deal, so how am I going to get my music out there? But now we're in the DIY economy, which represents do-it-yourself. So instead of me saying, hey, this is a setback, I'm going to have my own record label, I'm like, okay, hey, you know what? I'm going to start my own SoundCloud page. I'm going to post my music up. I'm going to share it with my friends. If I'm not getting any shows, which would be considered a setback, that's why I networked with different people. I did shows. I built up my network, and now I throw my own shows. Now I help put other people on. And then those people who I help, when they have something going on, they help me, and then it just keeps spiraling, see? But it all started one day when I got sick of not being able to get a show. You know what I mean? So, sometimes you just have to turn negatives into a positive, and it all starts with the mindset. And if you keep your mind positive, anything can happen.
Hey, Sam, you earn a living off of a career in hip-hop, and so how?
I think that's a great question. It's possible, but the fact is only a small percentage of rappers are fully living off of rap money. And it depends, if you're underground or overground. And now that we're living in a digital era, record sales in general are lower than ever, especially with downloading, and nobody's really buying records anymore. You know what I mean? So most rappers who are making good money, they're getting their money from touring and merchandise more so than record sales. So if you don't have a machine, or, if you don't have a distribution deal or a touring deal, you're basically, you're not a hobbyist, but it's just much harder for you to say, hey, I can pay rent or a mortgage off of this. And who's to say, I think that's why certain people who are underground, you can make, even if you make money in increments, you can do it. It is possible, but it is very difficult. And, like me, I haven't even mastered how to just completely make money off of it and not have to work a 9 to 5 or whatever. But, some people, they do have the luck of the draw. But if you don't have the luck of the draw, it's so important, and I say this to all the starving artists, it's so important not only to get your education, but to have a job, okay? Because, some people say, hey, well, you know what, I'm an artist, I don't have to work, I'm just going to go freestyle my life. And things don't really work like that in the real world, because in the real world, there's still bills that have to be paid and responsibilities that have to be handled. So, I think that's one of the biggest pieces of advice is that when you do have a job, you're able to put money into your craft, and sometimes it takes money to make money. So, it is possible, but like I said, for the people who aren't making a living off of it, you have to invest. So then that way you can have your projects looking more professional. You can spend money on some distribution. You can spend money on artwork. You get proper studio time and things like that. And then that will help make you get money because people will see your professionalism and eventually get booked for this and that and the fourth. So, it's just all a spiral, but, it's definitely hard. But there are ways to make some money. You know what I mean? So,
What are your dreams for the future?
I just want to share my art with the world and be a major contributor to the hip-hop culture. I want my art to be studied, written reviews. I want to, be influential, my work to be influential. I want to actually start an underground hip-hop label, which I'm actually in the works of doing. I want to tour the world. I want to be able to, take care of my family and my future generations from doing what I love to do, ultimately, which is represent hip-hop culture. So, that's what I want.
Do you have any advice for someone who wants to get started with music or rap?
Pretty much to piggyback on what I was saying earlier, is get your music out there, constantly write, constantly record your music, put it on SoundCloud, YouTube, get a YouTube channel, hit up the open mics, network with people, collaborate with people, invest in yourself, press up some songs, find people who will press up CDs is actually not even nearly as expensive people think it is. Learn how to do things on your own. Labels, they don't really develop artists anymore. They basically want to amplify a finished product. And so make sure you get your education, finish school, never give up, always believe in yourself, invest in yourself, network with the right people. Don't be afraid to travel. A lot of rappers or whoever, they're local because they've only rapped locally. It's such a simple but mind-blowing concept. If you Google, open mics in Milwaukee or open mics in Atlanta or something, then you can say, hey, this weekend I'm going out and I'm going to go to this open mic out here. And then now you have fans in another city. And then it just keeps on building like that. So you have to constantly just kind of find new ways to reinvent yourself. And for the starving artists, just try to make sure that you have a job and take care of your responsibilities. So then that way you can invest and budget into your artistry. You know what I mean? So that's really important. And then once you get to that point that rap is fully paying you, then obviously you can give that up. But it's just all about balance, really, and just working hard at your craft.
Is there anything else you want to share with us today?
Just listen to music that really inspires you. Do your best. Get your education. People can follow me on SoundCloud at SamIAm the MC. They can follow me on Twitter at SamIAm the MC. I'm also on Facebook as well. And then September 23rd, I'm actually throwing off the top freestyle rap battle for $250 cash prize for first place and $50 for second place. So that's just giving you an idea of what I do also as a promoter and just trying to keep the hip-hop culture going and the freestyle battle rap culture alive. And as y'all know, my mixtape Subterranean MC, that's out right now. That's all for free. You can download that on SoundCloud as well. So, just in general, just trying to keep the hip-hop going. And I really appreciate that you all contacted me for this interview. And, peace and love, y'all.
One last question, though. How did you come up with your name?
How did I come up with my name? So when SamIAm, as we know, like Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham, SamIAm, everybody called me SamIAm ever since I was a youngin'. So it was like, oh, SamIAm. So the name just kind of stuck. And then when I wanted to do the studio albums, I realized, hey, you got to have a name that you're probably not going to get sued by, right? So I added the MC. And I am an MC, a master of ceremony. So, and I think that your name should represent what you are. And my name is legally and a representation of what I am. SamIAm the MC.
Okay, so thank you for doing this interview today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Power Your Story. Today's show was produced by
Christopher Baez and
Alfred Barry,
with production support from After School Matters and the Creative Imposter Studios.
If you love our show, ladies and gentlemen, please share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe to our channels on Apple Podcasts, on Google Play Music, and Stitcher Radio.
Check us out on the web, poweryourstorypodcast.com.
And on Facebook and Instagram.
Thanks again for listening.
Have a great day. Peace.